Hey, everybody, this is Linda, and this is really important. So I wanted to come on here and let you guys know that today in New York, a federal judge supported the religious exemption for the vaccine. So that's really good news. That's a huge step forward. The governor's name is Hochul, and the vaccine mandate included medical workers. And the ruling was today that they must allow for religious exemptions. And as we know, a lot of these religious exemptions are, you know, some people might be using it as a scapegoat not to get the vaccine. That's fine. But look, they're basing it on the aborted fetal cells being in the shots. Now, when you heard that, the first couple times you heard that and they were trying to downplay it, actually, they denied it at first that they were using aborted fetal um, samples and cells. They were denying that. And we know this is not the case. We saw undercover footage. We saw all kinds of things that was banned and censored across social media platforms, but this is really big. This is huge. So don't be surprised if the lights go out because they're not going to want you to know some of these things. Let me see. Was it Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and Moderna all used laboratory-grown cells based on aborted fetal cells, so they say, collected decades ago in manufacturing and testing their COVID-19 vaccines. Something doesn't sound right. Let me read that again. See if you pick this up. Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and Moderna all used laboratory-grown cells based on aborted fetal cells collected decades ago in manufacturing and testing their COVID-19 vaccines. Now, at first I read that, I was thinking the vaccines, they weren't making these decades ago, but they're collecting aborted fetal cells decades ago, and they're keeping that, and they're still using those cells, and they're admitting now that they use those cells. So which is it? They use the cells or they don't use the cells? See what I'm saying? It's just the shadiness around what's going on. The fact that you are the phase 3 in the trials, that is where you're at. You are phase 3 in the FDA trials because there are none. And as we can see from the numbers that they don't want you to see and all the censorship that's gone on, and believe me, it's real. If you haven't seen it yet, let me talk to YouTube content creators real quick. If you haven't checked your numbers yet, if you feel like you might have been shadow banned, but you've been afraid to join the taking on big tech lawsuit or any of that, I highly suggest you go in your back office and take a look at the impressions and start taking screenshots of your watch time hours. If you haven't been monetized yet, like myself, I know I've been shadow banned and I have the proof. I actually have the screenshots of my watch time hours going backwards when I started noticing where it was and then where it was going the wrong way. So I started taking screenshots. So I suggest you guys do that too. Also with your views, if you're looking at them in the back and you see the numbers on there and you see the impressions, click on that next tab over and look at the impressions. Not every impression is going to stay with your watch time, but if you look at the date and you see the algorithm that I've noticed is about 1/3 less of the amount of views that they show you than that you're actually getting or that they're reporting on. So they'll report on it being 1/3 less in your back office. So just a little pattern that I noticed that might be helpful to you if you want to check out your own numbers. And if you find that you have been shadow banned or your algorithms have been stopped or your likes are being taken away and all of that, if you have noticed that on your account, go to takeonbigtech.com and join the class action lawsuit. So that is a right to know for everybody. I have this banner running across the bottom so that everybody at YouTube can see, everybody can see that this is a public service announcement. This is for your right to know what is going on, and your right to know if these companies are putting aborted fetal cells and tissues in your vaccines and not telling you about it. That's kind of a bad thing, especially when they're not reporting the proper numbers about the amount of injuries and things like that. So I expect this to be a very hot topic tonight and tomorrow. It's probably going to be hitting all the news channels because it didn't make the world news in time. They said nothing at all about it. So if you're in a job right now, you're in a position where they want you to take this or be fired or anything like that, you have the right to claim religious exemption, and you now have legal precedence for it from New York. And I'll tell you real quick, it is in the Northern District of Utica, Utica. It was Justice David Hurd of the Northern District of Utica, who is, you can look that up. And I suggest you go on DuckDuckGo and look it up, because Google's probably going to be censoring that right away. So good luck to everybody. This is a really big win for truth, and it's a really big win for victory, for integrity, and getting things back on track where we need to go. It's a great turn, and hold the faith, keep the faith, hold your line, and don't give in. Don't give in. I know things look bad sometimes, and it looks like it's going to go a certain way, but if you feel a certain truth within yourself that you need to speak or to hold, or to hold your line, stay in your lane and hold your line. It's all about mastering your own energy, mastering your own field, and using that integrity to be that solid pillar in your community and your sphere of influence, because people need to hear truth across the board. And we're going to get that in a very, very big way very soon. So don't give up. Be a part of it. If you're called to be a part of speaking your truth or publishing your truth, consider writing an article and sending it into some newspapers, or starting a blog and putting your link out there on social media. People need to hear what you have to say. People need to hear your experience. And more than anything, people just need the truth. So I hope this helps. I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for being who you are and doing what you're doing. Love you. Be a little bit better today than you were yesterday. Bye.